Salute. Wote. Lati Momo Hoye. The day Lafia. Divine risings and rotations. Beloved army, beloved army. When do we get tired? When do we get tired of struggling and making excuses for why we're struggling? When do we get tired of feeling empty and blaming it on divinity for why we're empty? When do we start asking the questions that say, where's the divinity that's for us? Where's the religion that's for us? Where's the spirituality that's for us? See? Because if we were created in the image of divinity, how often has divinity suffered? See, because that's a weird concept. Even though I know some of these enslavement religions try to teach you that divinity has suffered. So they place divinity inside of some man who prays to divinity. I think they call that split personality or bipolar. Because in the story of Yahshua, I can recall who you wrongly call Jesus. There's no J's in the Hebrew language, so we know that there was no Jesus. There's Jesus, which means literally the son of Zeus. We know what mythology that comes from. But it's interesting how these other religions don't acknowledge that they're mythologies. Everybody else's things are mythologies but theirs. Well, obviously they know no understanding of the definition and the etymology of the word mythology or theology. The son of Zeus, and Zeus was the all-powerful God of gods. And it says inside the Bible, it says, have I not, this is what Yahshua said, has it not been said when he was questioned about claiming to be divinity? Has it not been written that ye are gods and the sons, I must add, and daughters of the Most High, the all-powerful? And then he went on to tell his disciples that the things that I am capable of doing, you are capable of doing that and greater. And he went on to also teach them how to communicate with this Most High Spirit and saying, our Father. He never said my Father. He never said Jesus' Father, Yahshua's Father, Isa's Father. He said, my Father. He said, our Father, my bad. He said, our Father. He never said, my Father, which art in heaven in the highest of places, Most High, in the highest of ideas, in the highest of activities, in the highest of ideologies, theologies, spiritualities, in the highest of them. I'm talking to that version of spirituality and divinity. And then it goes on to say that this identity suffered, so there will be no more suffering. Yeah, we continue to make excuses for why we suffer here. And we say that if you endure the suffering here, which is interesting because as melanated people, we suffer the worst. I dare somebody to challenge that idea, that reality. What comparison can you make? A moment in time? We ain't talking moment in time, we're talking continuation. And I can't sit and continue to watch my people be in poverty. I can't consistently watch my people live or exist in broken families, broken communications, loneliness, sacrificing everything that matters to the physicality. Why put me in a physical experience only to suffer through this experience? Why the most insane and wickedest of people don't suffer at all? Yet they make the rules and the regulations to why we suffer. And it's an interesting thing because in that same scripture, divinity, the higher self, sent the nation, Israel, Isis, Ra, and El, into locations to slaughter those who didn't truly own or possess that land. And it said, take nothing with you of them. Bring nothing back to your camps from them. Nothing. Wherever something is found that comes from their camps, that's found in your camp, everything there will be destroyed. When do we begin to change the narrative for our story? After one gang member has killed one too many other gang members, and then there's no gang members, and then the military of our true opposition comes in and slaughters us all. After one revolutionary organization pits itself against another revolutionary organization, one community foundation pits itself against another community foundation, and then we have nothing. And then our true oppositions come in and they destroy the rest. Same way they did to those natives. When they convinced one native tribe that the other native tribe was plotting against them, but that native tribe had never heard the other tribe plot against them. But they did hear from the mouth of those who in the end scalped them and sold their scalps as the beginnings of the concept of a wig. They peeled their wigs back and then sold their hair like they sold our hair, our skin, and our teeth, and used it for clothing and dentures. If that's the divinity you choose to follow, you are beyond a buffoon. If that is the divinity that we choose to follow, we are beyond cowards. And our ancestors are repulsed by the very existence of us. And our ancestors are a little bigger than our street block. Our ancestors are a little bit bigger than your divinity or your concept of religion or your family, your nucleus, that is. Because without those ancestors, there would be no present day. So when we're going to ride for those who rode for us before we even came, so we could even have the opportunity to be here. Just some food for thought. Stay focused, stay positive, stay around focused and positive people. Never lose who you are once you know who you are. Never sacrifice who you are for nothing and nobody. Don't just wake up, get out of the bed and stay out of the bed and assist others in rising from that slumber. Alafia for no wo. Monife re la ni de wope aka sima kairi onyon kopona ka kairi frama. Umuntu wenga bantu lai ni waju korese. Fiete nu. Ya soto weto frako waju. Nakupenda usifiwe. Nakupenda usifiwe. Nakupenda usifiwe. Salute, peace and motivation, wholeness and motivation. Have an illuminating day. I love y'all immortally. And I'm just saying, where there's no unity of a people, that people shall perish. And we begin to see what it looks like in our perishing. So if we don't want that to be the ultimate ending, we better start doing something better with each other right now. Salute.